Welcome to the Project Orange pre-training for Google Places. Let's get started, and just like the other training sessions, we talk about what is it, how do I sell it, I've sold it, now what do I do? So starting with the what is it. Google Places is Google's local platform to help businesses be found on Google. It also helps Google users to write, allowing them to write reviews and place rankings on the business and let other people know what they experienced. In addition to all of that, it lets the business owner add their content, and Google knows since business owners are adding it by going through a process of verifying the listing and then adding the content, they're getting information straight from the horse's mouth. So part of the value for Google is they're getting reliable information from the business owner. Now, let's further talk about what it is by talking about how to claim that page. Claiming a Google Places page and populating this page with relevant information provides a business with an opportunity to improve their chances of showing up on a Google search result and potentially improve their placement within that result. So by being more trusted and relevant with their content, Google sees that the business owner has claimed it, sees that they've added content, they say, this is a good opportunity, and knowing that Google wants to give their end user the best experience possible, they see this as a good opportunity to give that valuable content straight from the horse's mouth. Now let's take a look at what a verified Google Places page looks like. Up in the upper right-hand corner, we can see where it's been circled that this says owner verified listing. Now on the flip side, let's see what it would look like if it hadn't been owner verified. You see in the upper right-hand corner of this page where it shows business owner question mark. And that's how we tell the difference between one where the owner's engaged and where they haven't. So knowing all that, let's talk about how it works. Providing Google with the reliable information about a business equates to information that Google can trust. Information that Google can trust means more relevant searches for Google users and improved chances for showing up in a Google search result. And this harkens back to what we just discussed as far as why it's valuable to Google and how it improves the client's positioning. I like this last statement. It talks about if you don't tell Google what you do, how will searchers know you do it? So if you didn't put in your Google Places page that roofing repair as well as leak repair are services you offer, when someone searches leak repair in Piscataway, New Jersey, that client has an improved chance of showing up. There's a lot of parallels between the Places page and our own business profile as far as keywords driving searches. So I want you to keep in mind that Google Places isn't a product that we sell. It's actually a free service that Google offers. The service that we are providing in assisting customers with setting up this account and making sure that the information in a client's Google Places page is consistent with their business profile is very valuable. I like the phrase that we're using calling it online alignment, so that whether you go to Google Places, Super Pages, or several other sources that we'll talk about in the LLC module, there's consistent listing information. The basic information is consistent, telling web crawler search engines like Google that crawl the web everywhere and look for that content. They see that everywhere it's the same stuff and they say, I can trust this. They also see that the same services, so they say, this is a good relationship between this listing or the Places page and these services. So that's part of the value that we're offering in the way we set it up. Now, next we want to talk about how to sell it. And this is really embedded in the lyrics that you've been given. And they say something to the effect of, setting up a Google Places page is free and easy. And it's a great way to make your business more relevant to Google. The trick is making sure that all that information, that content is regularly updated and accurate. And also getting through Google's verification process. This is why so many clients find us valuable, because we can help with all those things. In fact, once you update with us through your single point of contact, we can make sure that those updates reach several other websites, including Google Places. So part of the value in the service that we're offering is to reduce the frustration for the client and improve the accuracy of their listings and content all across the internet. So that's a little bit about one approach to explain to a client and what we're going to do for them. Once you've sold it, we need to talk about how to fulfill it. And there are some steps involved. The first two steps are signing up and verifying that information. So signing up, to claim the Google Places page, a client must have a Google account. This account gives them access to a variety of Google products like Google Calendar, YouTube, Google Docs, and more. A Google account cannot be created without an email address. Now, it's not the same thing as having a Gmail address. You could use a separate email address outside of Gmail and set up your Google Places page and access to the account, rather. Now, if the client, there's a couple of scenarios that we might run into. If the client doesn't have a Google account and hasn't claimed their page, they are prime, they are ideal for this service. For those folks, we can go ahead and set up the Google account, claim the page, and add the content. Very easy, very direct. Now, another scenario is when a client has a Google account, but they haven't claimed the page. Now, if they want to, we can share that account information, and as a result, we can go in and update the page, claim it, and then update it for them. If they choose not to, or they fall into the third scenario where they have the account and they've claimed the page, they already own it, and we don't get choices in how to do that. Google dictates it. So in those cases, we can offer the service of offering them the updates by emailing them the content, or if they choose to share the username and password with us, we can help participate in adding those updates. So the next slide, I sold it. Now what? Before a client can claim their Google Places page, they must verify with Google their information. So Google's wanting to make sure that they have the business owner who's taking control of that page. It would be disastrous if someone from another business took over the page. So what they do is typically it's one of three things. The first, and my favorite, is when they make a call. So you request the page, and then the phone number that's on the listing is called. And that phone rings, client picks it up, there's a recorded message, Google asks them to press 1 perhaps, and then they give you a PIN number. That PIN number can be relayed through Spock, allowing us to claim the page. The second is when Google has verified that the number is for a cell phone that's on the listing. And then they can send a text. Same situation, they'll send a PIN number, read it to Spock, and we're good to go. Now the final, and frankly my least favorite because it causes a little bit of delay, is when they choose to send a postcard. They use the address on the listing, send a postcard, and it generally takes about a week. So as a result of that, we'll have some delays in those cases. Keep in mind it's outside of our control. Google dictates these terms. And the client, when they get the postcard, we want to set the expectation that they need to call us and relay that number, the PIN number, through their Spock, their single point of contact. So there's another layer to this that we're learning about, and that is after we've claimed the page, we update it with a call tracking line so we can help report the results on that page. During that process, there's often a second verification. Often it's also a postcard. So when that happens, and actually we know that's going to happen, so what I want you to do is set the expectation with clients that for the Places page, there's often 2 verification steps. So you'll get a call or text or postcard, and then a second one. And usually the second one will be a postcard. So we need to let them know that when they get that information, to call us. That 5-minute call will relieve them from a lot of future time and energy spent on it. Now, final note before we leave, I want to keep in mind that this is a service-based offering. We're saving them time, and we're also reducing their stress and confusion. We can't control Google, and we touched on this earlier. They choose the verification processes and things like that. The postcards, like we discussed, may cause delays. And then finally, clients who've claimed their page already, that means we will be somewhat limited in how we can help. Certainly still a lot of valuable service. Many of these clients don't know what kind of content to add or exactly how it works. So we can help guide them through that and reduce their stress and also give them back the time that they would otherwise spend doing that. Thank you for your time, and I will look forward to seeing you in future modules.